All right, talk about what is it?
Xenoverse? Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Xenoverse.
And, 20 years ago, I was all about Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z.
Seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z in my life. I mean, I understand like the memes and like the Super Saiyan and all that kind of stuff, but it just totally passed me by.
Yeah, but and like World of Final Fantasy is fan service and nostalgia for Final Fantasy.
Right.
Xenoverse is fan service and nostalgia for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball. Well, not so much Dragon Ball, but definitely Dragon Ball Z, and even a little bit of GT and Dragon Ball Super, which is still going right now.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So tell me about the game.
Yeah. All right.
What kind of game is it anyway?
It is an action RPG.
Okay.
An action RPG where you are a time patroller. So you're going back to correct inconsistencies in the Dragon Ball Z.
You're like a time cop.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like Captain Jack Harkness.
Yeah, a little bit. I do not get to go back in time and fuck anyone, though. That's...
Just use your imagination on that.
There we go. I'm sure there's plenty of fan art.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, you're a time patroller. You're going back to correct inconsistencies in the Dragon Ball Z timeline to make sure that everything goes properly, which in itself is impossible because you, as a person, are going back and changing history to recorrect history. But that's a quantum paradox thing.
Right.
So,
well, when you deal with time travel,
yeah. Exactly. Nothing's gonna make sense because it's time travel. Anyway, it's enjoyable. I feel like between the two games that we have talked about on this week's show, World of Final Fantasy and Xenoverse 2, World of Final Fantasy is probably better. But I haven't played it, so I don't know.
If you had a PS4, I'd let you borrow it when I'm done, but you don't.
I don't.
So what's the combat like?
The combat is from what I understand, and I have not played the first one because this is Xenoverse 2, but I have watched the guys from Team 4-Star, another great YouTube channel. They do Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and it's hilarious. It's a hilarious thing. But their gaming channel played through the entirety of the first game.
Okay.
And I watched the entirety of that run.
So you pretty much feel like you've played the first game almost.
Yeah, I mean, aside from actually
Not
having
the
the
same.
physical sensation of playing that game, yeah, I mean, I at least got to see the story. I got to see them grind, because apparently that was a lot of what the first game was, is grinding.
Right.
Grinding.
And I have no problem with grinding in RPGs.
Yeah, no, of course not.
I like being so powerful that,
That I just face roll everything.
Right.
Yeah. So, when I started playing Xenoverse 2 the other night, when I was completely shit-faced after karaoke,
Nice.
because Drunk Me was like, I want to play this game! And so
You
Drunk
got
Me
it.
was like, I want to buy this game!
Full
and then-
price?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because, I mean, it just came out like this week, so
Okay.
it's a relatively new game.
All right.
So I'm glad that we are getting to talk about it at least, because I feel like it's topical. People are going to want to know a little bit, because what is it, Game Ranks that does before you buy?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little bit of a before you buy for other people who are not drunk.
Right. And I subscribed to that channel, and I watched, because it was really a toss-up. I was either going to get World of Final Fantasy or the Skyrim Special Edition, because I had never played Skyrim.
Right.
And honestly, I'm more of a fan of Japanese RPGs than I am more of the Western
No,
ones.
and you and I have talked about the Elder Scrolls games.
Right.
I have never really been able to get into Elder Scrolls games.
But the first Bethesda RPG that I played from start to finish was Fallout 4, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to give Skyrim a shot. And then they announced the special edition. I was like, well, I'll just wait for that.
Mm.
But now I've got World of Final Fantasy, which is a 40-plus hour RPG, and then I've got Final Fantasy 15 at the end of the month.
Yeah.
I can't fit Skyrim
You're not,
in.
yeah. It's going to be,
I just can't do it.
It's going to be a while before you get to Skyrim.
Right.
Hey, maybe it'll be a price dropped version of the
I'm
special
sure it will.
edition
I'm
by
sure it
then.
will.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, final thoughts on Xenoverse. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball
which,
Z.
I mean, kind of makes it difficult for me to tell you at all about it, because, I mean, people that know Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, they will know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to just, wax rhetoric on...
So if you could compare it to like a more mainstream game, what would you compare it to as far as like the gameplay?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Because this is kind of the first game like this that I've ever played. And I'm finding it enjoyable. Like, there are moments of extreme frustration. There are kind of insane difficulty spikes sometimes. But my character is only, like, level 37, 38, somewhere around there. But, like, talking about the grinding aspect of the game, like, there's like characters from the shows that you can learn from. You can learn their moves and stuff like that, and you get obviously XP. You level up from all that stuff. So like I felt going into like a certain saga, the Frieza saga, for people who are aware of what it is, going into the Frieza saga, I was like, I'm face rolling everything. Because I have done so many of like the parallel quests and so many of the teacher's missions and fought so many of the other characters and stuff. Oh, this is all so easy. Okay, then I get to the final battle with Frieza and his brother from the alternate universe movies and stuff, Cooler, comes in and fucking destroys. Like, I mean, I still beat it on the first try, but I was like, this is so much harder than everything else that has come up to this point. But I did still beat it on the first try.
That's what I always love about the RPGs is the big boss battles, and especially like I remember Final Fantasy X, for example, you know, and all the fights with Seymour and all that being so difficult and just going and just trying over and over and over and over again.
I don't know how many times I had to fight Anima. And
I haven't, in World of Final Fantasy, had my whole party die once, unless it was part of the story. Right. Which seems to happen a lot. Like, there's at least 4 different instances where your whole party gets wiped out in one shot, and then the story continues. Yeah. So, well, I guess final parting thoughts on this game. I'm very much enjoying it. Granted, I have not gotten to the point that the Team 4-Star guys did in the first game, where they just had to grind and grind to find Dragon Balls so that they could respect their character, grind to just level up and make themselves powerful enough so that their numbers were bigger than the enemy numbers, so that they could actually beat certain missions and bosses and parallel quests, which are weird. Parallel quests where you go back and do different versions of fights and stuff. Like, you can fight with the bad guys to destroy all the good guys, and that's kind of fun. Yeah, like, I want to beat the shit out of Goku. Well, like Goku, what I do, stealing my kills. What I do in games like Final Fantasy is I will, before I progress to the next like part of the story or the next dungeon or whatever. I'll just grind until all my party members are like, I'll be like, I'm just going to grind until all my party members are like 3 levels higher than they are now. Yeah. And then I'll go into it. So I kind of do that over grinding as I go. And it's like, it's funny you say that, because like I just, I finished the Frieza saga a couple of days ago. Right. But I have not gone on to the next section. I have just honestly been learning from all the teachers that are available to me now. I have been trying to do all the parallel quests that are unlocked for me. Yeah. I have just been doing that because I felt like doing it instead of going on and progressing through the story. It kind of reminds me of the World of Warcraft episode of South Park where they spend all their time, killing boars. Killing boars. Yeah, boars. And then they get to this super high levels, and then they finally beat the guy that's been killing everybody, and it's like, well, what do we do now? It's like, well, now we can play the game. And that's how I feel. It's like last night I spent the whole gaming session, probably about a good 4 hours, just leveling up all the monsters in my party. And then today I was like, okay, now I can move on. Now I can play the game. Now I can play the game again. So yeah, like I'm having fun. And I don't even know why I even like doing that kind of stuff. Right? Because it seems like if you're a fan of these kind of games, you kind of have to enjoy that sort of thing. My roommate must hate me right now, because every now and then I will just curse at my TV. Damn it, Krillin! You son of a bitch! Or you're like, just like the noise that the cursor makes as you're moving through all the menus and everything, because I'll spend like 20 minutes in the menus, leveling up and changing my party stats and it's crazy. And that's the thing, is as I was recording some of the gameplay footage for the first day, I was like, I've probably got like half of this is all just menus.
Yeah. Half of
Who's
this...
gonna watch me doing that?
Half of this Let's Play is just me scrolling through menus.
All right.
Dude, yeah, but again, final thoughts on the game. I'm enjoying it. If you like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT to a lesser extent because it doesn't really exist anymore, and the current run of Dragon Ball Super, which I am really enjoying. It's super. Thanks for asking. But, yeah, this game has a lot of fan service. It's got a lot of fun parallel quests. You get to play through the story of Dragon Ball Z and, from what I understand, a lot of the Dragon Ball Super content that has been released in the last year or two that Dragon Ball Super has been being made.
Awesome.
It's enjoyable for someone who is a fan of it. And I have kind of, since Super came out, I have kind of rekindled my passion and love for Dragon Ball.
There you go.
That, middle school me really loved.
Right. And, yeah. So, yeah, both of us got some games that we were very pleased with.
We got some new games this week, and we talked about them and their fan services.